Hello lovely humans, welcome back to another weekly vlog. What am I? I can't walk and talk at the same time. It is Sunday afternoon and I came home and I put on pajamas. I was like, not today, not today. So it's not even 3 p.m. and I've been in my pajamas since about 12:30. It has been a minute since I have done any sort of meal planning. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do today. Also, somehow my designer and I missed the fact that she put monthly planner on the weekly plan and weekly planner on the monthly plan. So I've since swapped that out for the meal planning guide. But yeah, I don't know how we missed that the first time around. So if you haven't seen me do this before, what I try to do is I try to list out breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every single day of the week. We tend to not lose as much food to like it going bad in the fridge, and it saves me time, it saves me brain space. Ever since I picked up my uploads and tried to do like 2 or 3 uploads on this channel per week, my time invested into working on my business, because I do all of the editing for this channel, has gone up quite a bit, which means we are scrambling for dinners like multiple times a week. And then I just go look in the fridge and 2 whole packages of asparagus have gone bad. And in fact, this asparagus was like haunting me. I tried to take a nap and I'm laying there and my anxiety kind of kicked in, not just because of the asparagus. And I couldn't really nap. So I was like, okay, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna stay in your pajamas, but you're gonna go do something productive. Okay, well, if I'm being totally honest, I was wearing different pajamas I would never film in, and then changed into these pajamas so I could film in them but still maintain that same comfort level. So I know when I'm feeling this way, I need to do something productive. It helps me to feel better. A lot of people, if they have anxiety, they just want to be distracted by something. Maybe they'll go sit and watch a TV show on the couch or go to the gym, or for me, it's checking something off of a checklist. So that is what we're doing today. So this isn't just a meal plan, this is for my mental health. And also it makes it a lot more affordable. So I'm gonna spend a few minutes, I keep looking around to see like what produce we have that needs to be used. I'm gonna spend a few minutes working on this, and then I think I'm going to actually prep some sides today to have them ready to go throughout the rest of the week. Like I'm thinking potatoes, I know I've got a couple squash that need to be cooked up. Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. Here's the plan for this week. We are going to do, when I don't have a lot of brain space, I go to tried and true regular recipes. When I know that I'm gonna have a tough week, or I've got a lot of meetings going on, then that's not the time that I experiment. I love experimenting when it comes to cooking. This is not that week. So we are just gonna go for some classics around here. Let me flip this camera around and I'll show you. I already have a pre-made quiche. We're gonna use that for tomorrow's breakfast. And then for lunch, it'll be grilled cheese because the kids can make it themselves, which, you know, again, tends to be my rule across the board. I try to make lunches something that the kids can do completely independently. And then I will do a pot roast for dinner tomorrow night. I already pulled it out of the freezer, so I just need to make sure that I get it started early enough in the day, so we give it plenty of time to cook. And then we'll do bagels, pasta, and a whole roasted chicken with some vegetables on Tuesday. English muffins, ramen. I have a call that night, so it'll be Elias making dinner. So I already have a couple of ribeyes defrosted, so he'll do that. And hopefully we'll have the vegetables. I'll cook those ahead today. Thursday, eggs and toast, leftovers for lunch. Kids do not love this, but mommy does, because that means we're not cooking and we're clearing out the fridge. And sometimes I will intentionally cook extra with these meals so Elias can take leftovers to work, and then we can have leftovers on a Thursday as well. And then I love a good mac and cheese, don't get me wrong, but to me it doesn't fill me up, so I usually like to add protein to it. So we call it our homemade hamburger helper, but really it's just like a glorified mac and cheese with ground beef in it. And then I have a pre-made casserole that I'll pull out because on Fridays the kids go to school, so they'll make their own lunches. And then we'll do tacos for dinner that night. Keep it simple. I know we got tortillas on hand. And then the twins and Elias are actually going on a father-daughter camping trip this weekend. So I'm not going to be planning anything for right here because it's just Silas and I. And obviously Amelia isn't eating like meals yet. And then Sunday mornings, oh wait, I actually wrote down grab and go, but my car isn't working right now, so we're not going to church. So Silas and I will just figure this part out. And here's why I like this system specifically, is as I'm writing this down, I can put all of my notes in the side. So like, what do I need to check the pantry for? What do I need to defrost? And then what do we need to go shopping for? So luckily, we only need a handful of items. Oh, and I actually just purchased one of them off of Amazon. So I arranged the meal in such a way that Elias can grab these on his way home from work tomorrow. to keep things nice and simple. Now, as far as the vegetables are concerned, I do have a ton of potatoes, so I'm gonna be roasting some of those with some onions and some garlic. And then I have a bunch of random things from the garden because it's still limping. It's supposed to be like 100 degrees today, guys. It's the middle of October. Like, what? So I've got like really sad looking eggplants that are like this big. I also have yellow eggplants. I didn't know that was a thing. They're like really long and yellow. Okay, so I think I'm gonna toss those in with some summer squash and some cherry tomatoes, and we'll use that for one of the evenings. I also want to do a carrot potato mix because I have a ton of carrots. They're so inexpensive when you buy through Azure. It's literally $1 a pound. So I get a 25-pound bag for $25, which is unbelievably affordable, and carrots are so good for you. But it's not like the kids are like just going in there snacking on them. So if I can have that ready to go, because that could go really well with either the pot roast or the roasted chicken, then we could do the garden vegetables on steak night, and if we have any leftover potatoes, we can have that with that as well. Okay, let's go get to prepping some sides. But first I'm gonna head out to the garden, see if there's anything I can get, and hopefully I won't melt. 4 whole cherry tomatoes, and they're not even ripe yet. I'm so glad we came out to do this. Basically, my plan here is to, oh man, I tried to move all the dishes to that side of the sink so you wouldn't see it. Basically, my plan is to just cut everything, dress it in olive oil, whatever else it needs to have, salt, pepper, other various seasonings, and then roast them all in the oven at the same temperature for however long each needs to cook. So I'll be doing the summer squash with cherry tomatoes, the like 2.5 eggplants that are like this big that I have, and some onion, and then I will be roasting potatoes with onion and garlic. I think I might just roast garlic, and then I'm also gonna be roasting potatoes with carrots. Maybe I just roast the carrots by themselves. I don't know. And I just feel like later in the week, Jamie is going to absolutely love Today Jamie just simply for doing this. And what I like about this kind of meal prep is you just get the kitchen dirty once, you only turn the oven on once, and I'm gonna use my little like slap chop thing to cut everything into perfect sized pieces. It's gonna be glorious. To kick things off, I'm gonna grab my slap chop. It's not actually slap chop, it's what I call it. I'll link it in the description box. It's honestly one of my favorite kitchen tools of all time. I'm gonna start peeling my garlic and set off all of the garlic paper to the side because y'all already know that I'm gonna save that for my chicken stock later. Now, I'm not saying I'm a zero waste kitchen, but I certainly try hard to make sure all of my hard-earned money gets used somehow. And I love this little vegetable chopper because it is so stinking versatile. These squash, spoiler alert, were a little too hard, and I don't think they're going to be very delightful. So I put together these 2 trays, and my children may or may not eat them. But the real impressive takeaway from this is that the slap chop works like a boss. Now, of course, if you're making the side dish using the edible squash, you can toss in a container each of grape or cherry tomatoes. Chop about half an onion to an onion, depending on your taste. And in my situation, a heap ton of minced garlic, salt and pepper, homegrown dried basil, and olive oil. Making sure to give it all a good stir so it's evenly coated. I am a sucker for red potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes, honestly anything but russet. The texture of these potatoes just hits different. And I am not a smooth mashed potato queen. I like it chunky, okay? And now I'm getting around to peeling my garlic, which is honestly one of my least favorite tasks. And don't tell me to throw it in the mason jar and shake it around. I've tried it. It's a lot harder than people make it sound. I'm gonna put all of the garlic wrapping, ends, etc. in with the onion skins from earlier to be set off to the side for my scrap stock that I'll probably be making after I roast the chicken this week. For the potatoes, I season with about a stick of unsalted butter, honestly, because we have a lot more of that on hand and I felt like I needed to use it up. Salt, pepper, olive oil, and the garlic that you saw. And now it's time for the carrots. Unpopular opinion, I actually don't peel my carrots. I leave them unpeeled. They're washed, don't get me wrong, but honestly, I don't want to go through the effort of doing it. My husband once told me that he actually likes the texture of them better when they are left unpeeled. And you know what? If it makes my job easier, you don't have to tell me twice. All right, you're done. No. Hey. No, you can't have it. Sorry. Mama. What, baby? I tried to get fancy with the camera location. Break up this time lapse a little bit, but Little Miss had other ideas, huh? Mama. What, Mama? Haha. You're on a cup. For me, I just love this vegetable chopper because it gives it such a uniform cut every single time, which means all the pieces are going to cook a lot more evenly. And I'm not chopping individual carrots over and over again. I kept seasoning pretty simple for this, again with the butter and the olive oil, salt and pepper, and then for herbs, I went with thyme and just a dash of cayenne. I find that roasted carrots can oftentimes lend pretty sweetly, so I like to add just a little bit of heat, not so much that the kids can't handle it, but just enough to round out the flavor palette a little. Did that make it sound like I knew what I was talking about? Also, can we take a moment to appreciate the matching pajama set that I put on just for you guys? You're welcome. As a recap, obviously you just heard the voiceover, but I decided to do the carrots all by themselves because I didn't realize I pulled this many carrots out and still have a ton left in the bowl that I'm not going to use for this week's recipes at all. So we've got this that'll be a side dish, and then these two, which are the summer vegetables. I also chopped up and added in the teeny tiny eggplants off camera because I totally forgot about them, to be honest. And then the most garlicky of potatoes you ever did see, because there are like 6 cloves of garlic that are like this size in there. It's gonna be so good. So whether we eat them roasted or we mash it up and turn it into mashed potatoes, we got options here. And the oven is set 350. We are ready to go. So it's time to throw these bad boys in and then maybe clean up. Actually, you know what? All things considered, I really didn't make that big of a mess. I used the same spoon to stir everything, 1 cutting board, 1 knife, and then this thing. That's dishwasher safe. It's like 4 sides worth of meals done in less than an hour with minimal dishes. This, we live for this. I hope these fit. What'd you find? You gave me more of my stuff. Ha! Yeah, did you just break that off? Okay, I should fit. Don't worry, I'll take that part. You can keep going with that. They have been roasting for just under an hour and everything smells so good. There is so much butter in this. Oh, Amelia. Her latest obsession has been getting ice from the freezer, and she just dropped hers on the floor. So I'm gonna give everything a really good stir. I can tell just based on, oh wait, potatoes actually might be, no, potatoes need more time. Just, I can tell based on how firm everything is while I'm stirring it that it all needs a generous bit more of time. Oh, those eggplants look disgusting, but it smells good. A try piece. More salt, for sure. Carrots. More salt. Potatoes are good. Okay. I actually think the carrots are good. Like, cooked. Don't think we need to do anything else to those. So I'll actually leave this on the counter to cool a little bit. And then, nope, just kidding, it's not done. That's really good. More ice? Okay, hold on. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pick up the camera again last night because when I finally tried, oh, she's glowing. There she is. When I finally tried the summer squash and realized how unbelievably thick those skins were, y'all, I was so mad. I'm still a little bit mad, but I'll throw the footage over here. Here's what they ended up looking like. It was tons of sides. I think the potatoes will last us for a meal and a half, if not like a meal and some leftovers. The carrots cooked down quite a bit. If I did it again, I'd probably do double the trays of carrots, but I'm not quite sure how much the kids are gonna like dive into those. It'll just be like a nice little addition to the side dish. And if you use an appropriate squash and not an aged squash, that is honestly one of our favorite vegetable side go-tos, especially if we're pairing it with like a pasta, a pesto pasta, and summer squash, and cherry tomatoes, and onions and garlic. Chef's kiss. It is one of my favorite easy go-to meals, so I am kicking myself that I put through all that effort on bad. I should have known when I was cutting it with how hard it was. Like the ends, the skin is like, it's like cardstock. It is it's got a horrible mouthfeel. I'll tell you that right now. But you know who is gonna enjoy it? The birds. The birds are gonna love every single bit of that. And I know what you're thinking, why don't you just cut the skin off? Because the beauty of the slap chop, not slap chop, is the uniform cuts. And they're all really tiny, and so it would require going through like skinning so many. So many. So hopefully this is encouragement to you. The methodology, the recipes if you will, even though it's like loosely just tossed stuff together, are still great. Just test your squash first, ladies and gentlemen, or don't let it age on your counter for like 3 weeks. So that's what we have for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's not one of my normally like 30-minute long vlogs, but this was just a nice little one to throw together yesterday. I felt so productive. Until I didn't. What was that about mental health? But if you would like to download my meal plan, both monthly and weekly, with the terms now fixed, I'll go ahead and link right here if you're interested. Honestly, it just helps me keep my house on track. I'm not professing to be an expert at this. In fact, I need help with this all the time, and I figure if you're anything like me, you might need it too. So feel free to check it out if you're interested. I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys!